Leader.
Deputy Speaker, thank you. My question without notice goes to the Honourable Prime Minister. Deputy Speaker, recently, just as case in point, to provide context to my question, we saw there was a mini cabinet reshuffle and we had a new police minister appointed in the Honourable Sir John Pundari, and we saw the former police minister appointed as the works minister. So, case in point, in terms of what the opposition and the people of Papua New Guinea expect, Deputy Speaker, is that we saw the new police minister take on reform, hit the ground running, and effectively start to deal with illegal gun proliferation and the tribal conflicts happening up in Enga as a hot zone for tribal conflict. This is what the opposition and the people of Papua New Guinea expect. So kudos to the government and thank you to the minister. And we saw the former police minister, the new Minister for Works and Highways, immediately tell the people of Papua New Guinea what we can expect in his first 100 days in office. Now, my question to the Honourable Prime Minister, as the Chief Executive, the Chairman of the National Executive Council and the Chief Executive of the independent state of Papua New Guinea, what are all these other ministers in Cabinet doing, Mr. Prime Minister? There's 39 ministers in Cabinet. That's 3 rugby teams. They should be kicking tries after tries after tries for the people of Papua New Guinea, yet everybody's asleep. In every response, Deputy Speaker, it's always the Prime Minister coming to defend government policy. It's always the Prime Minister coming to defend government action, inaction. What about all these other ministers? I stand by my call, Mr. Deputy Speaker, that the Prime Minister needs to seriously cull Cabinet, reduce the numbers to about 20 ministers so it is an effective, lean unit that can effectively respond to the people's calls, implement government policy and produce results. Because half the ministers are just sleeping. They're on a forever holiday and we hardly see or hear any of them. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, the question is, will the Prime Minister commit to reducing the size of Cabinet and sacking some of these ministers so they can become members of Parliament just like the rest of us? Thank you.
The Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I want to appreciate the question posed by the opposition leader, and I appreciate him noting a few ministers at work. I want to say that all ministers are absolutely giving their best shot to work, and if there are any issues concerning their line of duty, the questions must be directed to these ministers on matters directly felt underserved from the perspective of the opposition. So ministers are available to take any questions, but for the sake of the country to note with us, we're currently now going through the work that they're doing. I've told ministers 1 year is big enough for us to make the last 10 in respect to our 5-year commitment to our people. And the ministers are absolutely doing their best. By 31st of March this year, the reports expected from all the departments they care or they have custody over would have been furnished to all to the Prime Minister's department, and Chief Secretary will and his team will put through tasks as to ascertain exactly what has been done. Ministers sometimes get the blame for what is not happening out there. Agency heads are requested now to submit. There's a reform coming before us that we want to restore full power to the Chief Secretary for hire and fire department heads who are not working. And so by 31st of March, all department heads would have submitted in what they've done in the previous year. Those little areas that needs to be fixed are being fixed upon. But for the purpose of the opposition leader's question, I want to give him assurance that ministers are trying their absolute best. If there is any area of concern, please don't just shoot me a question, pause at shooting me a question, and please shoot the ministers a question and ask them on respect to certain areas the country feels the ministers need to respond upon. But I want to give assurance to the country, 31st of March, the department heads are expected to submit a report at this sitting of Parliament. If Chief Secretary himself is ready, then an amendment would have come through that compels the department heads who do not submit report in by 31st of March, it's ground enough for them to be sacked. Right now we have a process where they report to the minister and to the cabinet, but we want to give power to the Chief Secretary to fully take control of all department heads who are under them and have an arm's length approach between cabinet, ministers, as well as department heads, so that they could be functional with or without the oversight of elected leaders. I want to also indicate we have given instruction to look at few of our central government agency structures. A holistic look at the KCH structure is going on right now as we speak. A holistic look at central government, the role of treasury, role of finance, role of planning is going on as we speak. And now we've brought in the National Monitoring and Coordinating Authority to look at spend of government, whether they're hitting the bull or they're hitting the side of the dashboard, so to speak, in as far as expectations or delivery is concerned. And so the opposition leaders are assured we're not just sitting passing time. We're asking the same questions amongst ourselves in the confines of cabinet, the confines of government caucus. The government caucus that I lead also put me under the pump all the time. They expect us to deliver, and we are doing our absolute best to look at how we've done the last 4 years, some of the readjustments we want to do in the central agency and the structure of, importantly, the central government agency that carries much of our government weight. We're looking at this so that we could fix that and present a structure we feel is befitting, so that whoever comes in government in 2027 onwards could have a central wagony government structure that is easier and better of service to our people than a cumbersome impediment in itself. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.